What is Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What are the sources of Islam? What is Islam?
Burada sen ifşa oldun.
Nereye?
Gidiyorum. Hi, this is Edip, 24 March 2020. Today, this video might be one of the most important videos that you ever watched for two reasons. One, you will learn the lessons of this pandemic, historic pandemic, COVID-19, that perhaps you never heard from somewhere else. And also you will hear some prophecies that I can bet that you never heard anywhere else. But when after watching this video, you will have a paradigm change, most likely. And you will go and do the research based on what information you get from here. And if you are new in my channel, please subscribe. First time, perhaps I'm telling people to subscribe my channel. My English videos are mixed with Turkish one. There are several hundred English videos. After my name, in parentheses, letter E stands for English. Letter T for Turkish, and there are a few Kurdish and Arabic one, K and A. And also I have website 19.org. You can check some information. Many of my books are online, free. I don't make money from my books on religion, and I have translated the Quran into 2 languages. I'm not Sunni nor Shiite. You will be surprised to learn my religion. My religion is peacemaking, and my theology is rational monotheist. And the Quran reformist translation, you will see, I will show you in the future, it is a very different translation than all the Sunni and Shiite translations you see around, because they are full of distortions. Okay, first I want to start with lessons about COVID-19. I think it is a major divine lessons for humanity that we are in one ship, because it transcends religion, ethnicity, national borders, classes, economic classes, political classes. It is an equal opportunity divine lesson telling us you have aggressed. You became an ingrate, you humans. And I will share with you, you will see that how incredibly hypocritical we are, we humans. We need to take a lesson from this. And I hope that it might become a catalyst for humanity to go forward to change our ways. We have created superficial divisions and walls between us. We have created a very unjust world system or national systems. We need to change it. Okay, first I want to share with you one of my recent tweets. Why it doesn't come here? Okay, here it is. Well, now I am lost. I don't see it. Okay. Where is my mouse? Okay, sorry. And by the way, English is my 5th language. You can make fun of my language. If you are attentive to this one, this is tea, hot tea, black tea. I brew it in coffee maker, and I add some pomegranate juice to it. I'm a teetotaler. I never drink alcohol, never gamble, never lie, cheat people, and never use cuss words with the exception of one gesture. It was at European Parliament. You can watch the last words of that speech. And here it is. Okay, I want to go very fast here. I don't want you to get stuck on this one. These are very, some of them Turkish, bad. Okay, these are just recent ones. Okay, here it is. First, let's look at this. Antonio Guterres, United Nations. Okay, let me see. I hope you can see it. I know my head, my chin will be get lost. Okay, I need to maybe stand up, but the computer is low. Yeah, I'm amateurish. COVID-19 does not care about nationality or ethnicity, faction or faith. It attacks all relentlessly. Meanwhile, armed conflict rages on around the world, and the most vulnerable pay the highest price. That's why I am calling for immediate global ceasefire. This is his original tweet. Beautiful. Here it is. Official Secretary of General of the United Nations. Wow. Okay. But United Nations doesn't have teeth. By standard of, again, states. Unfortunately, states, countries are the biggest terrorist organization around the world. They get away with hundreds of thousands of millions of dead people, killing people around the world. And we got used to that. Finally, after Madonna, this Madonna is this one, another Homo sapien is taking lessons from COVID-19. We need to make a list of Homo viruses. We need to shame them and try them for their crimes. War profiteers, weapon manufacturers. We need to have a list of them. We always remind people they are bloody monsters. From Boeing to Hughes. Many of them. Anyway, warmongering politicians, warmongering clergymen, billionaire thieves. I say billionaire thieves not as an insult, as a matter of fact. Every billionaire is a thief. They thieve the labor of working people. And they legalize their theft. Just give you one out of many examples. But 2 years ago, I checked banks, rubber banks. Banks are rubbers. And they make billions of dollars from many items. Out of many items, one item alone, and 3 banks alone made $7 billion in B. $7 billion. Chase, Wells Fargo, and Bank of America. These 3 thieves, big thieves, they stole $7 billion from the most vulnerable working people. People in poverty that they went overdraft or they made mistakes. Maybe they are elderly. Let's say they overdraft 75 cents and they charge $35 with no conscience. $35 for 75 cents or for $1 or $2. Let's say you forgot or you made a mistake or you needed some water, you were thirsty, you didn't have in your, and then basically you borrow money from the bank and they lend you $1 or $2 and they will charge you $35. And 2 weeks later, when your salary goes to the bank, in your bank account, they get that money they lent to you, 75 cents or $2, whatever, and then they charge you $35 in interest. It is tens of thousands % interest rate on a loan. But this is legalized. This is a legalized robbery. But if bank make mistakes and put money in your account and then use that money to some necessary or unnecessary things, The moment they learn it, they will ask all the money from you, which happened to me. They didn't penalize themselves. I was not given the opportunity to penalize the bank because the laws were made by the billionaires or their stooges, the politicians who work for them, give lip service to working people, to voters, but out there they pass the laws designed, crafted by the billionaire class. Billionaire class is the enemy of humanity. And behind the wars and conflicts, all the inequalities, it is that class. You should know who is your enemy. Okay, and here, warmongers such as W. Bush, Rumsfeld, Cheney, and co., and they were together with military-industrial complex and fossil oil and many other multinational corporations or transnational corporations. They got away with war crimes. They made up lies and killed more than 1 million human beings in Iraq alone and led to the creation of ISIS. Yes, ISIS was byproduct of that criminal war, atrocities, tortures, killing, murdering in Iraq. And Saddam Hussein was the SOB of these guys. When Saddam Hussein was killing, murdering Kurdish people or fighting against Iran, they were the one giving him weapons and supporting him. Rumsfeld was shaking head with Saddam Hussein. And later they used the crimes which committed under the supervision and support of the United States against him. Look at it. Travesty. Unbelievable. If you watch it in a movie, you will say, don't insult my intelligence. This is not possible. But it's possible. And these criminals, they lied to the world. And many Americans were killed too. And of course, 100,000 times more also Iraqi people. But Bradley Manning, a peace activist, is punished. We must unite against homoviruses. I created this thing. Let's see whether... Okay, I don't want to go there. Yep. Okay. Now, I want to go back to the PowerPoint I said. I have a hard time to trace... Okay, COVID-19. Okay.
قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم.
This one is Turkish head of religious affairs. He is Erdogan's sorcerer, magician, you know, Pharaoh head. He is the same guy. The guys that Karl Marx referred to them as opium sellers. Religion is opium of the masses, yes. Polytheistic religions, which is Catholics, Protestants, Sunni, Shiite, Hinduism, they are polytheistic religion. God plus Muhammad plus Ali, God plus Jesus plus this plus that. These are polytheistic because polytheism creates a religion of exploitation. You have, when you idolize one single human being in the past, then you become primed to idolize the priests, the scholars, the imams, the mullahs, the rabbis. You become exploited. And religion also sells the biggest lies in the name of God, and then tells people, don't use your mind, don't question, just accept it. Swallow whatever poison we give it to you. When people enter the mosques or churches or synagogues or any other temple, 99% of the people go there, they put their brains by the door, leave it by the door, and they enter there. They are not thinking. They are not thinking. They betray God-given most important thing, blessing that we have, the brains, thinking. They are the enemy of working brains. But rational monotheists, which is messengers, prophets of God, they were questioning people. They were questioning. They were activists for justice, for peace, for truth. But later, their message is hijacked and distorted, co-opted by the very people whom the messengers and prophets of God fought against. Jesus was against of religious, corrupt Pharisees of his time who were in cahoots with the Byzantine imperialism, which is oppressive, repressive, corrupt regime. Jesus was a rebel. He was not a capitalist, a warmonger like today's many Christians who are, evangelical Christians especially. The same with Muhammad. Has nothing to do with today's Muslims, so-called Muslims. They are not Muslims. They are the enemy of Islam. Islam is peacemaking in English. Sunnis and Shias, they are enemy of Muhammad because they follow the books fabricated to distort the message of the Quran. Their Quran translations filled with distortions. And later, anyway, if you go this website, you will see some information there. Also my books at Amazon. Most of my books, you will see their PDF for free everywhere. Okay? This guy, what he's saying, see this guy, the head of religious affairs, he has the budget more than several ministers in Turkey. There are 110,000 imams making good salary out of doing nothing. In fact, worse than nothing. They are teaching ignorance to people. They make people stupid. The more you go to the mosque, the more the children's IQ level go down. They learn superstitions and lies. And they are holy lies, and they cannot even question it in early age. Therefore, Turkey spends so much money, billions of Turkish lira, for this institution to promote ignorance and stupidity in Turkey. And this guy got Mercedes in the past, very expensive Mercedes. He has large salary and great budget. And look at this where he talks. It is made of marbles, ostentatious clothes. As if Muhammad and Jesus, they had this kind of clothes with gold and embroidery on it. Anyway, and he has this hat. Well, not hat, turban. Idiots. During Muhammad time, Arabs, they were wearing turbans, not inside, outside, for two reasons. It was functional. To protect their head from the sunlight. They were living in desert. And also, this was beautiful because there would be dust storms. I'm yelling, I'm so sorry. Why I'm yelling? I'm getting excited. And they cover their mouth with that when there is sandstorm. Part of it is long sheet of fabric, and therefore they could use it as a mask, as a filter. And also, if there is water somewhere, let's say it is a little bit, there is some algae in it, they could filter that water, or some sand in it, they could filter that water. Therefore, it had at least 3 functions. This has no functions. This is a stupid pot. Inside there is a red pot, fez. Turn upside down, put on his head, and put this one inside. What is this? Who are you? He says, I am holy by this one. And look at the religious clergymen. They all wear stupid stuff, different dress and grooming, and to differentiate from the people. Oh, I am holier than you. I am a selected, elected, chosen one. Liars. And here what he says. He says to people, he collected people, gathered people by azan. Azan means call to prayer. He didn't tell them stay in your homes. This is about coronavirus, which causes COVID-19. And instead of telling people stay in your homes, don't come, listen to your radios and TVs, He says, come to the prayer, hayya ala salah, hayya ala al-falah. And then they add Muhammad's name, which is against the Quran. According to Quran, وَإِنَّ الْمَسَاجِدَ لِلَّهِ فَلَا تَدْعُوا مَعَ اللَّهِ أَحَدًا. The masajid belongs to God alone. Do not call anyone besides God. But they add Muhammad's name next to it. Shiites add Ali's too, because they are idol worshippers. Anyway, and then he calls them. He calls people together, crowded, thousands of people here, you will see. And then tells them what? Wash your hands. They don't know. And stay away from crowds. This is unbelievable. And this guy has millions of dollars of budget, billions, huge. I say 110,000 people works under him. Works, when I say the work, it's not really work, doing nothing except doing few time, hitting their head to the ground, saying something that no one understands, even they understand. Even if they understand, they betray it. The Quran is most read, least understood, and most betrayed book in history. And then he tells people, stay away from crowd after gathering them in the crowd. This is incredible. This guy is an idiot. But this is the world we are living.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. En hafifinden en ağırına kadar hastalık,
how can I go to the other?
Dünya imtihanlarından birisidir. Tarih boyunca pek
I want to go here where he says crowd.
öncelikle beden, kıyafet, yiyecek, içecek ve çevre temizliğine dikkat edelim. Bulunduğumuz ortamı sık sık havalandıralım. Öksürdüğümüz ya da hapşırdığımız zaman tek kullanımlık mendillerle veya dirseğimizin iç kısmıyla ağzımızı kapatalım. Kalabalık ortamlarda uzak durmaya gayret edelim. Bir müminden bir Allah'tandır.
Kalabalık ortamda, in a crowded area, let's stay away from crowded area. And this is the crowd he gathers. And this is just last Friday, few days ago. Right now it is 24th of March. What was it? This is the Friday, 20 March, 4 days ago, where coronavirus is rampant all around the world. And this idiot is the head of religious affairs in Turkey. I had a debate with the former religious affairs on live TV, millions of people watched, and he was so exposed, he couldn't look into my eye. Dr. Süleyman Ateş, it is a YouTube channel, in my YouTube channel you see my debate with him. Twice he escaped from the studio because first time a human being challenged his lies. Because always they are like gods. No one questioned them. They are pharaohs. They are pharaoh sorcerers. And this guy supports every corruption in Turkey, all the atrocities in Turkey, all the racism in Turkey, and all the wars of Turkey under Erdogan, who's my former friend, comrade, but he's right now a full-blown dictator, very corrupt dictator and fascist. Unfortunately, he has a fascist government right now. More than 100,000 people locked down, many politicians, many authors, many scientists, and he's basically also all the Kurdish people, politicians, some of them, the head of the Kurdish party, Selahaddin Demirtas. He has been in prison for several years, and he's confiscating all their municipalities, which they won. Basically, 6 million Kurdish vote nullified them. And he's racist, and he is Donald Trump's close friend. Donald Trump once called him, "Don't be a fool." He couldn't say anything. But he is a hero in his country. But when it comes to the United States, he rolls in front of Donald Trump. And here is another. This is a very famous Turkish Why? Okay. I can't believe it. I am confused among many.
Hastalık Allah'ın yardımı ve insanların gayretli araştırmaları ile Allahu Teala fi
İnsanların tevekkülüne mazhar olurlar. Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem'i ziyaret etmekle müşerref olurlar. Resulullah sallallahu aleyhi ve sellem'i rüyada görmekle merzup olurlar.
And this one is a very famous Turkish evangelist, a Sunni evangelist guy. He's a merchant. Right now he's selling from carton. He may supposedly this is the shoe, Muhammad's duplicate of Muhammad's shoe, sandal. And then he's selling this, of course, very expensive, making big money out of nothing. And then he tells people this whole thing is reading about the magic of this carton. Oh, it is cure for all the diseases, it make you rich, it is this. And there are millions of people buy this. And this is how religion do to humanity. The enemy of humanity, two viruses, major viruses, religion and racism, religion and nationalism, religion and nationalism. These are two major, look at it throughout history, destroys humanity. And these people, they were saying, oh, coronavirus, let come. We are Muslims, nothing will happen to us. Some of them, we are Turks, our genetic is different. On TVs, and these guys. And this is the American version.
When I walk on White
Paula
House
White.
God walks on White House grounds. I had every right and authority to declare the White House as holy ground because I was standing.
They are all the same. Hindu, Sunni, Catholic, Protestant, they are all the same.
No to President Trump would be saying no to God.
Oh my
God. We're in
God.
a spiritual war right now. Let every demonic network that has aligned itself against the purpose, against the calling of President Trump, let it be broken, let it be torn down in the name of Jesus. You want me to tell you what my thoughts are? The thoughts of the King of Kings, the thoughts of the Lord of Lords.
Can you imagine the arrogance? I can't believe it.
Wherever
This is the Catholic version of insanity. In Italy, he's feeding people from the same spoon and bowl. Why people, this is just a few days ago. Look, he's distributing the virus, coronavirus, to idiots. Religion is the enemy of God, enemy of truth, enemy of reality. These are, some of them are educated, some of them college graduates. Look at them. They get from the same thing.
Neden? Olmaz. Dilimizde öyle bir şey yok. Öyle bir virüs camide mi olacak? Herkes abdestini alıyor.
Olmaz hocam.
Olmaz. Abdestini alıyor, yıkılıyor, elini yüzüne öyle geliyor. Nerede virüs var? Olmaz. Kıyamet kopar.
Kıyamet kopar. The end of the world will come. O virus in mosque, never.
Ben okullarda, ben
Angels are watching us.
Abdest alınıyor. Olmaz. Melekler yıkıyor be bize.
Melekler yıkıyor.
Aşk olsun ya.
Yok abi ne korkusu? Ülke 15 Temmuz'dan korkmadı. Şimdi nereden mi korkacak?
Are we going to get scared of virus? We are not even scared from this and that.
Allah da korur. Allah cemaatle namazı emretmişse korona değil koronanın hası gelsin. Biz inşallah cemaate, camiye devam edeceğiz. Diyanet işlerinin kendi şahsi fetvasıdır, kendi şahsi.
Neden?
Olmaz.
Küçücük bir mikro. Ey Amerika!
Oh my gosh, these idiots, not because they have trust in God, they talk in the name of God, they trust God, nothing will happen to them. It is lie. Because if in their mosque there is some bees, fighter bees, or ants fire ants, or there is a bear, hungry bear, none of them would go close because they see it. Because they don't see virus, these ignorant idiots, they think because they don't see it doesn't exist. It's unbelievable. And this guy now, he is challenging the United States. In some of his criticism, he's right. The Western world critical, but he is in worse position than the Western world. The Western world, at least there is semblance of justice and legal system and some democracy. In their countries, corruption and immorality plus tyrannism, and when they get power, they turn to beasts, barbarians.
Ne oldu senin atom bomban? Ne oldu senin nükleer silahların? Ey Çin, ey İsrail, ey Avrupa, sizin en büyük teknolojik silah...
Now, he's angry with America, with Israel stuff, but if he got a fraction of the power of Israel and America, he would do much worse. Because we know them. When they got power in Turkey, we know how they turned to oppressive, corrupt. When they got power in Afghanistan, how they turned to murderers, corrupt, thief murderers. In Iran, the same. In Saudi Arabia, anywhere in the world, ISIS. Therefore, don't look at them. They are critical of imperialism. In fact, they are admiring their imperialist ancestors, like Ottoman empires. They were worse than even the British Empire. They were going to the countries, killing people, destroying their cities, plundering, and forcing them to pay taxes. They call it jizya, which is distortion of the Quran. The Quran, it is a war reparation. If they aggress against you, attack you, and after the war, you're mandating that they pay the cost that caused you for no reason. But they turn it to something different. And then they select their young men and draft them, assimilate them, make them Turk, and force them to become Muslim, I'm so sorry saying Muslim, to become Sunni or Shiite, and then turn them to make them soldiers for their next raid, an aggression, an invasion. And this admires Ottoman empires. Like Ottoman, they're one of famous Sultan was Fatih Sultan Mehmet, who conquered Istanbul. And that guy was a psychopath, paranoid psychopath, killer, murderer, evil. He suffocated his young brother who is in crypt, 2 years old brother. He thought that when he grew up, he will take over his throne. He was worshiping his power, his throne. Therefore, these people are not sincere in their criticism of America or Israel. All they want to do the same, even worse, themselves. That's all. When they get power, they basically expose themselves. But we know from their teachings is corrupt, full of hypocrisy and lie.
Silahlarınız vardı, gücünüz vardı, kuvveti...
Get out. Okay. COVID-19. There is interesting resemblance between cult and pandemics. Our reaction to cults, because every religion starts as a cult. Muhammad was a cult leader. Jesus was a cult leader. Cult means what? The perception of the majority. They consider them as a cult. There is a leader who comes up with new religion, challenges the established religion and system, and they are considered as a cult. And what is religion? Religion is an old cult that lost its dynamic and surprising nature and unknown risks. They could be much more harmful than a new cult. They are. Today's religions, established religions, Hinduism, Sunni, Shiite, Catholicism, Baptism, evangelical, they are all very harmful to humanity. They basically, anyway, but somehow we got used to that. There is a boiled frog syndrome. That reason we get used to the stinky smell in our neighborhood. One is that, and second, some of their very sharp edges are trimmed are kind of make circle that work together with some part of normal humans that is not that harmful. Therefore, we are able to live with this disease, secular people or rational monotheists, because they're sharp edges there. And they don't have a leader that can change dramatically the theology, could surprise us, that scare us. Since it doesn't exist that way, they are more, the mutation is slow mutation and controlled. We know about their harms and danger. We have vaccine protected a little bit against them. Especially through secular democracy, social democracies, we contain this disease called religions. But cults, they are new religions. We don't know what will happen, what the cult leader will do, how fast it will grow, how big change that it will bring, will destroy life or freedom or anything that we have. Therefore, our reaction towards cults is irrational. But there is some rationality in that irrational fear, because the fear of unknown risks. And the same with the virus. Now, there are millions of people dying from other diseases like cancer, which unfortunately we got used to it. We became boiled frog syndrome. But mostly the result of consumerism and capitalism, because we poison the water, the air, and the land. And it causes cancer. A lot of toxic materials are in our body. Don't you think that it has any relation with cancer? Hello? If cigarette smoking causes lung cancer, don't you know smoking the exhaust coming from the car fossils? Or from many factories, from many plastics around us? Of course. But we got used to that. And we know kind of more or less about how little we can protect from that. And it is slow, it kills slowly, not that fast. And therefore we got used to it. But it's not good to get used to that. We are boiled frog syndromes. Like we got used to that 25,000 people die every day from hunger. This is atrocity. This is crime, our crimes. We waste so much food and we waste so much energy and money to bombs to kill other people and to create more enemies so that we can make more bombs. It is a vicious, bloody, evil cycle. Anyway, therefore, this COVID-19, our reaction in one way is rational, but on the other hand, it is justified because we don't know how much it will inflict harm to us. Okay? This was yesterday's statistics. I will not go over it. Just to give you an idea, if you are curious, you can push the space button and stop it. Okay? And this was a good article, opinion, why did the coronavirus outbreak start in China? 2 points I summarized for you. Authoritarian culture, which suppresses and distorts the truth. China, for a while, tried to hide this epidemic in Wuhan province. In fact, the scientists who first warned the Chinese government about this, they penalized him, and he died of coronavirus himself while fighting it. What a tragedy. And this is the government doing. And of course, therefore, this coronavirus highlights one more time that authoritarian governments, lying leaders like Donald Trump, they are fatal to the lives of people. They are very dangerous for humanity. And we need to have transparent governments. Responsible governments, not holy governments. And 2, bizarre dietary culture, which is dangerous. But in 2008, me and my younger son, Metin, we went to China for about 2 weeks. We spent in China. Over there, I saw with my eyes, they were eating very exotic stuff, but there is certain culture is evil. For example, fin, about some beluga, dolphins' fin, they think it is good for whatever their health, They make a lot of lies about their sexual power stuff, and they kill many of these fish because just their fins. They chop their fins, and they think that if a wild animal or dog, for example, if it is tortured before eating, it is better, healthier. For example, they chase the dog for miles so that get very anxious, the dog. The more stressful, the better. In fact, some of them, of course, not all Chinese. But this is a culture, unfortunately, needs to be eliminated by Chinese people. Even the guy was cooking in a restaurant in front of the customers, cooking a dog on hot skillet, and the dog was screaming, torturing dog, trying to get medicine out of the dog. It's unbelievable, and they are eating some wild animals. They may be virus in them. Of course, it should not be against Chinese people. There are many great Chinese people, and I do think majority of them good people. But there are some people, ignorant people, like in every culture, in every nation, there are idiots, like evangelical Christians in the United States, like Sunni religious people in Turkey or other countries, or mullahs in Iran. There are a portion of every nation, every race, there will be, unfortunately, ignorant and arrogant. Therefore, we should be also be on alert against superstitions and bad cultures. And here is to give you an idea about the death rate. Cardiovascular diseases, 31% of death. Cancer is 17%. Respiratory diseases, 7%. Oh my gosh, this is about, I don't know whether you can see, you can read it. Okay, the next one. This is about the numbers, that was percentage. In 2017, 17 or 18 million people died from heart-related diseases. Cancers, imagine the numbers is huge. And this is suicide, which is about close to 800,000 people from suicide. AIDS, still close to 1 million people, 954,000 people in 2017 alone died of AIDS. Drownings. And as I said, there are certain things we react so much unreasonably, like sharks, killers. Well, maybe cat bites kill more. A simple drug overdose or many other things, falling from the stairs, kill many more people, but somehow we are very scared of few things which highly exaggerated. And okay, here is the war. This is another lesson. The waning war, which is not. We are at the brink of nuclear war. Any times we could have a nuclear war. We should not be comfortable, because it takes only one idiot like Trump or Modi or Pakistan's leader, I don't know even his name, or Benjamin Netanyahu or Putin. One of these arrogant idiots may push the button and create annihilation of the world. We cannot survive a nuclear war. And or maybe gangs could steal. Well, I have difficulty to call them terrorists. The reason is because it hides the fact that biggest terrorist organizations are states. If you listen to my speech at British Parliament about 2 years ago, less than 2 years ago, it was about the causes of gang terrorism. I call it gang terrorism rather than state terrorism. And you will please watch, and you will learn a lot from the evidences, from the data I provide there in that speech. And also, please listen to my speech at British Parliament. Is also very important. Okay, this is war. And here it is. This is Yemen. United States, unfortunately, supported Saudi Arabia, killing tens of thousands of people, children, destroying the country. This is, where is it? This is, I think, Syria, destruction, which is again United States, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Turkey as a coalition. They smuggled a lot of psychopaths, Al-Qaida, Nusra, and weapons to Syria to promote civil war there so that Syria will be split. And this was Israel's plan, unfortunately. And this is the tortures, Abu Ghraib tortures. And these are the lessons we need to take. We are all humans. If these people get virus, it will come to us too. If we bomb them, they will turn to terrorists, they will come bomb us too. What goes around, comes around. Don't be stupid. Let's take over, let's take our government that is hijacked by corporations, which they make profit. Big bloody profit by sending the children of the poor people to other countries and then killing the children of other poor people and creating fear and justifying their theft here too. They're waving the flags and then you go crazy, you go stupid, and then they steal. Therefore, this should be the law. We should pass, pay attention, please. Share this information. We should pass a law. Any legislator or the government, any president who is signing a war, deciding a war against any other country, that person, those persons who signed it, who supported, they should be in front lines. Or their close family, their wives or children. And they should be there. And at least one out of the 10 people who are died there should be belonging to those who signed it, those who are billionaires. If they are not, this is a war against poor people, against people who they exploit. Again, the warmongers, those who promote wars, they should be going front. If I am promoting a war, I will go. Because I know that is a just war to defend ourselves, to defend freedom, to defend the lives of people, to defend people, lives. It's not war of aggression going in other countries, calling it defense, but in fact, it is war of imperialism. No. Therefore, this is the way, if they don't, we should try them and convict them. And Obama administration, unfortunately, was a very bad administration. Obama appeared to be a decent guy. No, he was a warmonger. He killed many people. He worked for the billionaires. He bailed them out. But he appeared to be as if he's for people. He was not. There is a duopoly system in the United States. Two parties serve the same master. Bernie Sanders is an anomaly, exception. He gives me hope. First time I've been in this country for 30 years. First time I see one decent, honorable, and courageous politician, smart politician, who see the problem, who really honestly work for people. But people are bombarded with lies, with propaganda, with corporate media. And unfortunately, despite this, I am hopeful about young generation. The United States will have a major revolution, a good change. We'll have, God willing, social democracy, and we'll be peacemakers on earth. And this is Turkey, Nusaybin. I think this is Nusaybin. Many Kurdish cities in Turkey destroyed by the Turkish military, but many Turkish people are not aware of it. But even they are aware of it, they ignore it. It's cognitive dissonance. Religious people suffer from cognitive dissonance, and nationalist people suffer from cognitive dissonance. People in Israel, they think Israel is a great country, humanitarian democracy, but what Israelis do to Palestinians is incredible atrocities. In 2014 alone, killed 2,000 Palestinians, 500 of them being children. And Israel lost what? One older elder perhaps got heart attack and 2 soldiers. And Israel was considered as the victim. The Goliath, how do you pronounce it? Goliath, pretending to be David. And Obama, after Israel killed 2,000 civilians in Gaza, bombed it, destroyed the whole city, and 500 of them children in schools and in hospitals, deliberately targeted hospitals and schools despite United Nations and other institutions warning and giving them the coordinates. They deliberately did that. And member of Senate and Obama, they sent their condolences to Israel for losing 2 soldiers who killed children. Bernie Sanders is an exception because he has conscience, he has courage. Unfortunately, Obama is a big liar, like Donald Trump, like Biden, unfortunately. But we were happy because he was a black man. That's exactly how they play. They know the people. Let's have another stooge, another puppet that will play identity politics and will talk about religion, whatever, but will serve us. All they care about money. 3 billionaire owns more than half of Americans own. They have wealth more than 150 million Americans. That is incredible travesty. This is a capitalistic religion. Exploit people. Steal from their work and justify it. And make those people like slaves praising their masters. And I see person is hungry, works hard day and night, cannot make the end meets. Defend the capitalistic system, the rigged system, because brainwashed, even through TV programs like The Survivor, 1 person wins, everyone loses, like lottery. Millions lose, 1 person wins. They brain pollute people since even childhood through their TVs, directly or indirectly. Therefore, many of you, you are brainwashed by lies and lies and lies, justifying a corrupt system with against humanity, against world. They polluted, they destroyed the world. For a long time, they lied even through their media that there is no climate change, no this. Anyway, let's go. This is ISIS, which is byproduct of imperialism, military-industrial complex, and Sunni teachings. And of course, the crap. This is the Christian terrorist, Norway. In Norway, he killed about 77 people, mostly teenagers. He was a newborn Christian, following Robert Spencer. He was a fan of Robert Spencer. I have debate symposium with Robert Spencer, and I put them, published them in book Peacemaker's Guide to Warmongers. And that Robert Spencer, who's a Catholic. And this is a bombing of Gaza, I believe. And this is the last word of my speech at British Parliament. No, I'm sorry, this is European Parliament, I apologize. The last words of my speech, about 20 minutes speech. But it has a video also, please listen to that video, about 1 minute video. Edip Yuksel, European Parliament, if you type that one in YouTube, you will see it. And listen to it, this is the list of overt and covert operations and wars until what year? This is not updated, until 2006, I believe. 2006. It is way behind. It is even much longer now than 5 times of my middle finger. And first time in my life I used this gesture. I'm a Puritan. I never use obscenities in my life. When I was a kid, I made a decision, principal decision. I said I will not gamble, I will not, because we were playing marble, And if someone loses, they would lose the game, they would lose their marbles too. I found that was unfair. And then they were cussing each other's mothers and stuff, and I found it was unacceptable, immoral. Therefore, at that age, also there was a drunk person once a weekend would come in the neighborhood in a very terrible shape, and the children, they were stoning him and stuff. And based on that, I decided, I said, I will not gamble, I will not use obscenities, I will not cheat people, and I will not drink alcohol, and I will not have sex. That was for other reasons, sex with girls until I get married, which I kept all my promises. Thank God.
We are now using drones to assassinate people.
Oh, this is my speech.
For people who stand against our aggression and hegemony. After killing 1 million in Iraq alone, the list of wars, covert operations, and countries bombed by the USA Inc. Incorporated, printed in 9 points, time Romans, single space, 1 line for each country, is 5 times longer than my middle finger. With cognitive dissonance, every bloody list is possible. We are not.
Okay. This is another lessons from coronavirus. We should be not engaging in wars against other humans. We are all brothers and sisters and children of Adam. We should promote peace. We should not look for excuses to declare war. We should look for excuses to declare peace. But unfortunately, we use much more time and energy to find a way to be hostile to another country, and we create too many. We spend so much energy and money to weapons, and they are self-fulfilling prophecy. The more you accumulate weapons, the more those who are manufacturing that one, they will kind of try to create pretext. They use politicians and religious people, clergymen, in order to create a war so that their bloody wheel machine will work, because they need to continuously sell to the governments. And this is how he was promoting, not his son. His son made billions of dollars, and he has a son and son-in-law, and they are in mansions. They have many corporations and institutions in Turkey. They didn't even go to military service. They didn't do even military service. But he is right now encouraging this little girl who is wearing like a soldier. He's praising him because he will become a martyr. He's encouraging the children of the poor people in Turkey to become martyrs. And he is glamorizing martyrdom for his own ego. And he has, by the way, so far, this Tayyip Erdogan has the biggest mansion in the world. One of them in Ankara, 1,150 rooms, compared to White House, 130 rooms. Compare Turkish economy to American economy, even population. And but Turkey got the biggest, and then right now he's making another mansion, 300 rooms. It is for summer. Basically combined, it is the biggest, by far the biggest mansion in the world. He has a helicopter which is $500 million, about $500 million worth of flying villa, flying mansion. But when he came to power, he was waving Hazreti Omar's patchy clothes. He was saying, Hazreti Omar. His success after Muhammad, he was elected as a leader, the second caliph. Hazreti Omar was so careful about justice, and he was so cognizant about poor people, and therefore he had a very modest life. His shirt was patched. He was telling these stories to people. But because he follows the Sunni religion is full of hypocrisy. In fact, the Sunni religion tells fight war is deception, and he considers a war, this political thing is a war, so that they get power. And then he lied to people in many ways. And this is in Israel. Israeli children were encouraged to sign the rockets which they sent to kill the Palestinian children. It's not one-sided, unfortunately. Nationalism and religion. These are the two viruses that turn good people to evil. Dogmas turn good people to evil. Unfortunately, these beautiful kids, by bloody Zionists, they were led to write words supposedly to having fun, killing people, turning to fun. These are Palestinian kids, these are Israeli soldiers. A lot of kids are killed and tortured, unfortunately, there. And this is Alan Kurdi from Syria. His body hit. It was iconic picture. The three richest Americans hold more wealth than bottom 50% of the country, study finds. These are Bill Gates plus William Buffett plus Bezos, bigger than half of America. This is how a great nation we are. What a shame. What a shame. Half of America, equal three people, three thieves. Military-industrial complex gets the biggest budget and the leftovers for people. This is what capitalism is. In order to reach the bread, you have to carry this 1%. This is the enemy. This is the enemy. And unfortunately, they also control the propaganda machine, the media. They own the media, mainstream media. Therefore, we need to unite as people. We need to transcend national and religious borders. We cannot fight this evil which hijacked our governments alone. Locally, we cannot. Nationally, we cannot. We need to be international. We need to unite our institutions, people, not United Nations. United Nations are for governments. They care less about working people, poor people, powerless people. They care less. Therefore, we need to unite. We need to transcend the national and religious borders, which is made up by these people. They divide us and they exploit. And many children die daily, and we are blind. We are insensitive towards it because we are turned to power. We are powerless, and unfortunately we are what? In fact, we have power. Slaves have nothing to lose except their shackles. We need to unite. We need to stand up. Be courageous against these cowards, against this corrupt, filthy, greedy 1%. This resembles not only Saudi, Kuwait, Qatar, or Turkey, any other that we have. Unfortunately, our government supports many dictators, evil people around the world throughout history. Look at it, from Latin America to Philippines to Middle East. You will find that. And these are some of the dictators. Where is Erdogan here? He's missing here. Where is Khamenei here? It is huge. The list is huge. Okay, now coming to prophecy. First, I want to look at this one. This is for those who think that Quran, that learn Quran from Sunnis. It has nothing to do with that. I put a summary here: the teaching of the Quran versus the teaching of Sunni and Shiite religions. I want you to stop it by pushing the space bar and read it. And you will see in detail discussed this in Manifesto for Islamic Reform, which is, you can find the PDF for free, and or at Amazon.com. It is a very inexpensive. Okay. And this is Quran Reformist translation. And because I'm coming to prophecies part of it, and I want you to know the basis of these prophecies. And this is 19. Here is the book here. And this is a discussion on 19. I want to apologize to Carl Sagan, rest in peace. His name should not be here. It should be separate because he was not one of those ignorant, arrogant bigots. He was a very reasonable skeptic, agnostic. He had very good criticism, and I respond. It was my philosophy thesis in 1995, I believe. I had a 2-round discussion with him on Code 19. And I published it. It is published in this 19 book, the previous book here. In this one, you will see that. Also, as a separate book, its translation was also published in Turkey as prime argument. This is the summary of 19 here. You will see. Okay, and it is 19. This is a prophecy of 19, and it was discovered in 1974, in chapter 74. 19 is mentioned only in chapter 74. 1974, the time of discovery, and 19 times 74 is 1406 years after the revelation of the Quran, which was 610. And many other prophecies, if you look at it, is impossible. It is a mathematical structure in the Quran, and it explains many of the verses of the Quran that no one knew their meaning. And I don't want to extend this one because it is by itself whole thing. I wish that I can discuss this against any skeptic. I have challenged mathematicians, philosophers, religious scholars, atheists. I have some debates with them. For example, the president of American Atheist Organization, but he avoided discussing this one. He didn't have any information about that. But I have 1.5 hour discussion about God's existence. And also, by the way, this book is a new 10 questions for atheists. It's available at Amazon as a Kindle and also as a book. Also I have debated at Running Like Zebras, a video with Michael Shermer, head of Skeptic Foundation, and here he was writing articles that time in Scientific American, and of course he knew about the issue. In fact, he published articles critical of it in his own magazine, which he was chief editor. But what he did, he blundered, he messed it up, and unfortunately, he's a good guy, but because of his arrogance, he lost the thing. And also, I debated it with the head of religious affairs in Turkey on live TV, together with a professor, a top professor from Bosphorus University, mathematician. And of course, this is a fantastic argument. I have given few lectures to mathematicians and philosophers. One at the University of Arizona many years ago. I wish I had recorded that one. It was beautiful. And one also in Kazakhstan. But I challenge Dawkins. If you have access to Dawkins, please deliver my challenge to him, or Harris, or Tyson. These are the atheist scientists. If they can, I am challenging them to discuss this issue about Code 19 in the Quran, and also Old Testament. It is a prophecy of the Quran in this book too. And I'm looking for someone who could translate this book. This is Rabbi Judah bin Samuel. I don't know which one. Is it upside down? Always I could. Okay. Maybe from this side I should be able, yeah. Okay, here. It was an article at Mega as a periodical by the California University, this one. The same prophecy, the same mathematical code is in the Old Testament. It connects the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Quran. It is amazing. It is not numerology. It is not esoteric, arbitrary interpretation. It is verifiable and falsifiable facts, physical facts, like the frequency of letters and words and verses, and the mathematical interlocking pattern. And okay, I want to go over this one, and here is C, and this is the prophecy in the Quran regarding Rabbi Judah. And this is another prophecy, Y2K, came in just the turn of the millennium, before 2000. There was a huge scare. If you are young, you will not remember, but if you are about 40 years old, you will remember very well. There were worldwide global scare regarding Y2K virus, year 2000 virus bug, because the computer memory was very expensive that time and limited. In order to save from the memory, the programmer deleted 19 of the year. Instead of 1974, they wrote just 74. I think it repeats in programs and stuff in terms of tracking. And then, well, in 2000 it will be 00. The computer will consider as a 1900, and then the chronology of the things will mess up. Maybe it will create havoc in airline traffic or electric grid and many other things. Therefore, there was a massive global pandemic worry about the damage it could cause. And thousands, tens of thousands of geeks and coders were hired by governments and corporations to fix it. And the cost was about 600 or 800 billion dollars. But it didn't really cost much, but it was a real scare. Because of what? Ignorant number 19. Here it is. Read this one. Read this one. Stop it and read it. And this is one related to 19. Very interesting. And there are many, many other prophecies. I pass over it. That this is not coincidence. Because when you ignore number 19, here it is. You will have a problem. And then 19 years later, in 2019, we have COVID-19. And it is another message here, which I mentioned, but there are more. If I would like to discuss this in a Socratic method, not monologue, I would like to discuss this issue. Anyone is interested, media or other people, please let me know. I am ready to discuss. And also, 9/11 has very strong connection with number 19, because one of the hijackers of the 19 hijackers, the mastermind was also mastermind in the assassination of the discoverer of Code 19, Dr. Rashid Khalifa. This guy who is here, this is me. And he was killed by Al-Qaida. In fact, the first terrorist act of Al-Qaida, but I want to let you know, it was a Saudi Arabia, top Saudi clerics, 38 from 38 countries. They gathered in Medina under Abdul Aziz bin Baz regarding Salman Rushdie affair in 1989. 38 of them, they decreed fatwa. They said Rushdie and Rashid Khalifa, the discoverer of Code 19, Salman Rushdie and Rashid, both of them are apostate. It was a death fatwa against them. Apostate means in Sunni religion should be killed. And then 1 year later, within 1 year, they killed Rashid Khalifa. Salman Rushdie is still alive. And but therefore it was top Saudi plan to kill Dr. Rashid Khalifa. And I have evidence that I think that the United States government top secretly accommodated the Saudi wish to kill him, like they also accommodated bin Salman to kill Khashoggi. Absolutely. I think United States gave him green light to do that. Like United States gave green light to Saddam Hussein to attack Iran and later to invade Kuwait. After he attacked Kuwait, United States turned against. But we know that that's kind of behind the scene what's going on. And this one should have been in the 9/11 Commission report, which is done by the, I think, Senate, United States Senate, 9/11 Commission report. I expected a long chapter about the Al-Qaeda's first violent act in the United States, and one of the hijackers killing Dr. Rashad Khalifa. Guess what? Not a single word, not even a footnote. You don't see it because of the connection with Saudi Arabia. And they deleted that. I think it was censored. That important part was censored. My thing is going to finish. I'm going fast on this one. And this is Newsweek article. This is here about their connection with Dr. Khalifa, killing of Rashad Khalifa. Divine warning. And here it is. This is my information about me. You see. That's it. Okay. Oh, perfect timing. The battery is finished. And here, go there, and there are links, video links at this link. I don't know whether it will open or not. Doesn't matter. You can go there. Oh, here. It is there. Okay. Here are the links. These are videos with Noam Chomsky, atheist, president of atheist organization, my speech at European Parliament, British Parliament. These are about very important. This is very important. This is ISIS follows Sunni religion. Abdullah and Naeem, Cole Harrison, please. It's funny. This is running like zebras. He was the imam of biggest mosque in New York. How he escaped like a zebra. Ruby Amatullah, please type his name and finds his article, Letter to America. There is hyphen in between, and letter hyphen to hyphen america.org or .com. Check that one, please. I don't know what happened. This is Challenging Ground Zero. This is the head of religious affairs, escaped from the studio twice. These are other things. This guy said, I will chop your head. He's a religious leader in Turkey. Anyway, there are some of the articles. These are the text of the speeches. Some of the articles coming under that. Okay, I'm tired, and you are tired too. I'm going to stop it here. Channel YouTube. Oh. You can basically stop and go. You can even read it from here if it is good quality text. This is chapter 74 about prophecy 19. Okay, I need to stop it. Here it is. This is the summary of 19. Okay. Oh, this is a good test. Terrible terrorist test. Okay, that's enough. Peace, and looking forward to hearing from you. Please subscribe to this video channel and share good videos with other people. Peace.